Morning. Good morning. Ever since we announced our first sale of the compact carbon capture plant that you just saw in the video, the phone hasn't stopped ringing. Because the combination that it's compact, it's low cost, and it can take significant amounts of CO2 reductions in one go has gained international interest. And it's not just the compactness that people look to, because in Norway we've had a tradition of focusing on HSE. So the fact that we actually, in this plant that you see here on the picture, is able to use an HSE-friendly amine technology, which has been perfected up at Mongstad and at many sites that we have visited, makes a big difference when it comes to emissions to air. People today, they want a robust technology that doesn't have those kind of problems that we've seen on some of the larger capture plants with degradation and the problems with corrosion. Twence here is a waste-to-energy plant in the Netherlands. And they are also a good example of something that we're seeing much more interest in around carbon capture utilization. In the EU, carbon capture utilization is supported. And for many of the sites, like Twence, which is located in the middle of the country, that's a viable alternative to storage. But even if Twence is focusing on CCU, we should not underestimate the importance of carbon capture and storage. When I'm out talking to customers in Europe, most of them know that there is viable technology which is already there and can be delivered quickly, but they all have the same question to us when we arrive: what to do with the CO2? And for many customers these days, the Northern Lights project has been an eye-opener. The fact that we now are putting in place a storage chain where we can store the CO2, transport it to safe storage, is really important and should not be underestimated. And together with realization of some of these projects, like the Brevik project, it really puts Norway onto the map. Aker Solutions has been the technology partner here for Heidelberg Cement Norcem in Brevik. And we're already seeing how the FEED study, which we've delivered to Trude and the government, is making a ripple effect towards Norwegian industry. Because for 20 years we've invested in this technology, and this is now becoming the foundation for a new era, a new industry in Norway, which can really make a difference. So that customers like Heidelberg Cement has opened their eyes to the competence we have in these areas for Norwegian industry. Norway is, or Europe is feeling the impact. And for customers that are close to shore, the alternative with capture and storage is important. And it's not just the energy industry we're seeing interest. Big emitters like the steel, the cement, lime producers, and waste to energy all have this on their map. And some, like we've seen in Lysekil, are looking beyond that. They're looking at what type of role should they have in the new economy. What are they planning to do beyond the fossil fuels? And we're very happy to be one of the partners for Preem when they're now testing carbon capture at a hydrogen production unit in Lysekil next year. And results of that is very important as well. So both internationally and nationally, there is high potential. I included this slide because, on these type of conferences, it's all about also what are the next projects. And this is an example where I've said, where can we reach if we actually install just catch units for many of the big emitters on the waste to energy side. So here is an example where total emissions around 818,000 tons of CO2. And with our just catch carbon capture units, we capture around 85 to 90% of that. So around 700,000 tons of CO2 just by installing our compact carbon capture plant can be reduced. And that is a significant number of electrical cars. Somewhere around 350,000 electrical cars. So the investment here and what we can get out of carbon capture is quite significant. So I'm challenging people in the room and I'm challenging the government here. We need to see more plans beyond the Northern Lights project. We need to see that these emitters around Norway and around the world are actually taking the next step towards planning their projects. We need to see that the ambitions that we've seen from Oslo, from cities around the West Coast and up to Trondheim, they're getting into plans. How are we going to deal with the big emitters? And that's not just important for the climate, it's important for Norwegian industry and to make our competitive industry more viable towards the international market. Thank you.